Discussion. Well, let's start. Okay. Why? Jerry, he be back yet?
He's still on a trip, but he's not in Salt Lake City anymore. Now he's somewhere else. I talked to him earlier today, but he said he'll be back on Monday.
Okay, I was wondering. You just decided to move early.
No, he said that he really likes it out there. Of course, I don't know. I've never been to Utah.
Let's see here, too small.
I can read it.
It's good.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
While it is impossible to know what the Buddha's earliest followers thought of him, both textual and archaeological evidence shows that devotion has long been a part of Buddhism. The practice of venerating relics and images has played a central role in even in Buddhist traditions that strongly emphasize that Gautama Buddha was a human being who died and is no longer able to aid his followers. The Mahayana Buddhist traditions, which allow for the continuing interaction with a virtually infinite number of coexisting Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the importance of devotion is more pronounced.
Okay, that's enough. Go ahead. So what's the difference between two traditions?
Well, saying that even though they all venerate the Buddha, some of the branches think that, now that he's gone, he's just gone and only his teachings are left. But in Mahayana, the belief is that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas can still interact with the world because they're not actually gone, they're just in nirvana or the Pure Lands.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
In Theravada tradition, they say, oh, Buddha is gone.
Yeah.
In Mahayana tradition, that's why they have the Pure Land tradition.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you have that experience or not, but whenever you decide Buddha names, mantra, you could feel the power there. Nathan, you decide Namo Amitofo many times before, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel? You feel the Buddha present in your mind? You feel the energy there, or what? What do you think?
Maybe. I generally enjoy it. It's relaxing, and if you do it a long time and you get really concentrated, then maybe you can feel some energy, but I don't know if it's from the Buddha or if I'm making it up,
It's quite different. What's that? Rukwai? How can you say the name?
I have no idea what that means.
If you have camera, would you turn on, please?
Yeah.
Hi. You live in Louisville or you live in St. Louis?
St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
I'm in Alabama for school.
Right. You are in the school now?
Hmm?
Okay, welcome then. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know whether you recognize some kind of, you can say, negative energy and positive energy. Negative energy from some kind of, you can say, demon or whichever, and positive energy from the Buddha. Have you feel that before?
I'm very sensitive to energies.
Yeah.
You feel that before?
I'm very sensitive, I'm sensitive to,
You have that feeling before?
Yeah.
I can, even people that have not so good intentions or whatever, I feel like I can kind of feel that at a distance. I try not to judge too much on that feeling, but I feel like as a general rule, I'm pretty sensitive to the ways I call it people vibrate.
Yeah.
So how can they spell your name? Can you spell your name? How can we say your name?
Oh, Rakaya.
Rukaya.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, now I see.
All right. You read some Buddhist book before?
Yeah, actually, um, this is the first one that I read back in March.
Okay. That's nice.
The one that I'm reading now,
Oh, okay.
I'm not finished with it. And this one just came in a couple of days ago.
Oh, that's nice. You order those books?
Yeah. So I'm in the midst of reading this one. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but I know he was a really famous monk that died long ago. Yeah. I read no, I listen to a lot of his Dharma talks when I'm doing homework or before I go to sleep, and sometimes in the morning.
Mhm.
That's about it.
How do you enjoy those books?
So much. Like then when I first opened it, like most of it is just highlighted. It's so good. It's so good.
Is
I,
that?
I really do enjoy these books. Yeah.
Can you show him one more time? Take
Yeah,
the
I
title,
can see the
please.
title.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you see?
The heart of the Buddhist teaching.
Oh, yeah,
Mm.
I've read that one. Yeah.
So good. I heard this one was good by the same author, Being Peace. So I'll read this after I finish the other book.
Yeah, I've only read the other one, so,
Really? Did you like it?
yeah, I love it.
Mm. Yeah, he passed away last year
Yeah.
when he was 90. Yeah. Nathan, you know Thích Nhất Hạnh? Nathan? You know him?
Sorry, I had to handle something.
You know
I'm
him?
here.
Thích Nhất Hạnh, a famous Buddhist, Vietnamese Buddhist Zen teacher.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Okay. So one more time, go back. So could you have the kind of feeling, the feeling between the demonic energy and the Buddha energy? Would you feel that or no? Nathan,
Do
Yeah.
I feel what? I'm sorry.
the demonic energy and the Buddha energy or Buddhist energy. When are you at home, when you are at temple, wherever you go, you feel that kind of two opposite energy?
You know, I think someone said that they were sensitive to energy, and I'm not. I don't feel. So I don't know if I don't know if I would say I feel demonic energy. So maybe it's a good thing.
Mhm. Yeah, how about, how can you say, Ruwaya, right? You're right.
Kaya?
Yeah, how do you have that type of feeling? Yes, sense still that type of feeling?
Yeah. For sure. Even when it comes to like myself, when I get very negative, I can feel kind of what type of energy I'm radiating, or especially like, at college and at the different social gatherings, you can kind of feel people's energies. As far as like the Buddha's energy, definitely I feel more of it when I'm outside, kind of on my own. If I'm just sitting down and I'm being as still as I can be, I can feel like some sort of higher power energy. Um, Sometimes after I read these books or listen to different Dharma talks, then I have this kind of like glow, afterglow, or just like very at peace or very still. I don't know if that's some type of energy, but I guess you can say, yeah, I feel energy.
Oh, how about you? You feel that when you recite Buddha name?
Yeah. Definitely.
Mm. Yeah, it's a bit different. How about we work with the animal, cat and dog? You feel their energy?
Well, I think that's what makes me really good at working
Yeah.
with animals and, people with disabilities, people that don't talk. Is that I read a whole lot of other things about people. And I think that's also why I'm not bothered by, people not speaking English, because I'm reading a whole bunch of other things besides just words.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's nice then. So you could read their feeling. You could
Yeah.
recognize their feeling. Oh, that's nice. Okay. All right. So Ruqayyah is it right?
Okay.
Ruqayyah, you like to read here, please? Buddha, you're here. You see,
Buddhas such as I'm not
Amitabha.
sure.
Amitabha.
Amitabha have the power to intervene directly in the lives of their devoted followers in order to free them from the woes of samsara when they die. In the latter case, the devotee's complete reliance on the power of the Buddha to deliver them serves the same function that striving to overcome attachment and the illusion of self plays in those Buddhist. I'm not sure. This is-
You know who is Amitabha Buddha?
No, I don't.
Nathan, you might to explain who this Buddha is?
I can try. Yes.
Please.
Amitabha is the Buddha who is currently in what's called the Western Pure Land, and he's more like a cosmic Buddha. So he's not necessarily historical to us. And the Buddha taught us that through mindfulness or concentration on his name and his form and all these other things, that we can be reborn in the Western Pure Land and learn from him directly.
Okay. This video clip is only 4 minutes. I'd like to share with you. I used to share these video clips with my student there. Yeah, I think most of them know what this. Yeah.
The name Amitabha Buddha. But do you know Amitabha Buddha? Let's talk about this Buddha called Amitabha. Buddhism teaches that there are countless Buddhas in the universe. For example, Shakyamuni Buddha, who is familiar to us, achieved Buddhahood in our world. In an Eastern land, there is the medicine Buddha. Amitabha is the Buddha in the Western land of bliss. He is acclaimed by the Buddhas of the 10 directions as the king of all Buddhas. Amitabha is also known as the Buddha of infinite light and infinite life. Why is this Buddha so remarkable? The power of his vows is the greatest. His wisdom is supreme, and he delivers sentient beings most effectively, using the most skillful means. If you wonder how deeply Amitabha Buddha loves you, just look at what he has done for you. He created the land of bliss on your behalf. Everything there emits wondrous, splendid lights. Its surfaces, trees, palaces, and pavilions are forged from various treasures. The water of 8 meritorious virtues and the 7 jeweled lotus ponds nourishes body and mind. Whatever clothing you want, the mere thought of it will make it appear on your body, well-fitting, comfortable, beautiful, and elegant. Whatever foods you like, thinking about them will manifest them before you, delicious, exquisite, hearty, and nutritious. Beings who live there do not age, fall ill, or die. There is no contamination, anxiety, or fear, so there are no bathrooms, hospitals, or cemeteries. Everyone has divine vision, hearing, mind-reading ability, and fleetness of foot. Their special powers would make even the Monkey King envious. What's more, everyone there can become a Buddha quickly. They escaped the horrors of the cycle of rebirth in the 6 realms. There is only joy, no suffering. Maybe you think this is all just the work of supersized VR technology. No, there is indeed such a place. Amitabha Buddha established the land of bliss after countless eons of practice. So here's the question. How do we get to the land of bliss? Amitabha says, you only need to recite my name, Namo Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha's land of bliss is not custom made for monastics alone. It is for everyone. Its login password is Namo Amitabha Buddha. You can recite the name, whatever your location, and whatever your condition, posture, or mood. Amitabha recitation can calm minds, aid sleep, avert troubles, improve luck, ward off calamity and misfortune, safeguard homes, boost blessings and wisdom, and secure the protection of the Bodhisattvas. The greatest benefit of Amitabha recitation comes when you are about to take leave of this world. Amitabha Buddha will appear with an assembly of Bodhisattvas to take you to the land of bliss. The teaching behind rebirth through Amitabha recitation is profound and subtle, but it doesn't matter if you don't yet understand it. Just recite the name. Consider a smartphone that contains increasingly sophisticated technology. You don't have to understand it. It's fine, so long as you know how to use it. Because this method is simple and user-friendly, gaining rebirth in the Pure Land through Amitabha recitation has 4 millennia been called the easy path. The practice of Amitabha recitation has also been called the other power approach, meaning that we rely on the power of the Buddha. So what is the relationship between Amitabha Buddha and you? Let's take an example. Other Buddhas also love you very much, but they seem more like your teachers. Teachers open the door. You must enter through your own efforts. Amitabha is more like your father. He gives you all his meritorious assets accumulated over countless years, so long as you recite Namo Amitabha Buddha. The 6-character name Namo Amitabha Buddha is truly the most miraculous, loving, and mind-blowing creation. The name Namo Amitabha Buddha contains all the merits and virtues of 84,000 schools of Dharma practice, including meditation, repentance, sutra chanting, and mantra recitation. 2,500 years ago, Shakyamuni Buddha, the greatest enlightened person in history, recommended the 6-character name to us. By reciting the name, we can exit the rebirth cycle and be reborn in the land of bliss. Dharma masters throughout history witnessed many proofs of this wonderful phenomenon, so they taught it from generation to generation. That's how Amitabha's name has come down to us from ancient times. With such a treasure before us, don't just stand idle. Recite Amitabha's name at once, and remember to always recite Namo Amitabha Buddha.
So, Rukhaya, what do you think about this video clip about this Buddha? It's the first time I watch, right? Hi Ben, how you been, Ben?
Doing good, doing good. Good to see everybody.
Yeah, so how you doing, Rukhaya?
Yes.
Yeah, was that the first time ever you watch this video clips, right? About this Buddha, right?
Mhm.
That's how it's similar to Jesus Christ or different?
I would say different. I don't really have that much like a Christianity background, so I'm not sure, but I don't know. I come from like an Islamic background, so it's very much different from what I'm used to. So I can't really compare it to Jesus Christ because I'm not sure how to. But I know in Islam, or when I used to follow it, our paradise was only like for the believers or for like Muslim people. So if you weren't Muslim, then you couldn't get in. It was very strict requirements, like before you could even enter paradise, you have to go through the day of judgment, which is like decades, centuries long. You have to shut off all your sin, and in the grave you like burn over and over, shedding off all your sin before you can be evaluated to go to heaven or hell. So it's quite different than what I'm used to, for sure. It's much more easygoing, I feel like.
Yeah, in this case, what do you think?
I would say to a certain degree, the Western Pure Land has some similarities to like a Christian heaven. I mean, I guess it's fairly equivalent. I mean, the purpose I think is a little bit different.
You there to serve, right? But here you go there to be Buddha. That's Buddha. That's a bit
so you
different.
can enlighten, it'd be much easier to enlighten. Yeah.
So how about you, Nathan? When you first came across to this Pure Land, you believe right away, or you still have doubt, or what? Was about
I had many doubts.
doubt.
Oh yeah, lots.
Okay, how?
I thought it was too at the time. I thought it was too supernatural, too ooh for me. So
For now.
no, I mainly try to recite the Buddha's name. That's my focus.
So you believe strongly now that this
Yeah.
then you want to go there forever?
Yeah, go there. Yeah.
Isn't it forever, Will?
That's okay. Forever. Yeah, the name Buddha Amitabha has been limitless life and limitless light, infinity light, infinity light. When you go there, you live there forever until you become Buddha. That's all. So, Sam, when you first come across to this kind of Buddhas, you have the strong belief right away, or you still have doubt and now?
I would say I definitely believe in it. To the extent that I have doubts, it's not that I doubt that it exists. Sometimes I have doubts that it's that easy because sometimes I'm like, it almost sounds too easy, too good to be true. It should be harder for some reason, you know. But at the same time, I like to believe that it is an easy way because I feel like a lot of people who can't do all the hard stuff need an easier way because not everybody has like the right concentration and mindfulness and opportunities to go, especially like in this day and age, like, you know, where like since like the time of the Shakyamuni Buddha, like the Dharma, like the original Dharma, it's like more and more distant from us. So it's good to have an option to where we can like go to a place where there's a Buddha who could just teach us in person instead of only having to figure it out in this life. And also I like it because, you know, I feel like I should do my best to do not just the recitation, but also all the other practices. But for other people who I can't do anything about, like just random dead people, I have compassion for. I do the Namo Tapa Buddha. Like if at work I see like a patient died, or on the news I see someone died, or even if I see like an animal die or something, or like a friend or loved one, I say the Amitabha Buddha for them to hope that they go to the Pure Land.
Ben, you came a little bit late, but you watched last portion of that video, right?
Yeah, I just saw like the last minute of it, so I didn't quite catch it all.
Yeah, so how you think? Just imagine that you chant the Buddha names, and after you done with this life, you go there spiritually and to become the next Buddha. Is that
Like pure land forever.
don't need to go? You don't need to go back here in some cycle rebirth, right? Right. Won't have any kind of Asian sickness, death, and so forth. We live forever until to become Buddha.
So if you take bodhisattva vows, but let's say you recite the Buddha's name right before you die, do they put you back in line?
That's another thing that I thought about. I'm like, if I want to be a bodhisattva, I guess I could visit the Pure Land, but I wouldn't want to stay in the Pure Land because I'd want to come back here to help people.
Yeah, how is that?
That's a bit different.
Yeah.
It say that if you work here, stay here for a day, it's equivalent to live there for 100 years. Because 100 years over there, everything goes smoothly. Everything is wonderful. So no one suffer over there. There's no need for you to help them over there. But here, plenty of people to help. That's why, again, you're right. The Bodhisattva made the vows to stay here, then to go to the Buddha land. But if someone refer or concerned about be born again with all kind of illnesses, with all kind of problems in life, they better go there. They want to go there quickly. so that they don't deal with all kind of crisis over here. Is that nice, Ben?
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the only thing that came to my mind is that we are all connected because of old age, sickness, and death. You know, that's what makes us human, and that's like I don't know. I was listening to a monk about it. So to go to kind of skip over the suffering,
Mhm.
I I can't accept that. Like I know that it's part of my journey, you know. So
Yeah, so Rukaya, right? Is that right? Rukaya. So
Yes.
mention that you don't need to be judged at all, right? You don't need to go through all kind of torture, right? I mean, spiritually, you just focus on the name of the Buddha and you be born there and live there forever until you become Buddha. Is that nice? That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
I am still confused kind of on the different like sectors of Buddhism.
Yeah,
Is it
that's why we're
three?
here. Three. Yeah,
Yeah, that's still I keep trying to read up on them, but like I can't like
we
I
started.
the differences between them.
We study bit by bit. So Nathan, so that's your goal. You want to be born in the Western Pure Land so that you live there forever until you become Buddha. Is that your goal? This life?
Yeah, and whenever I was first taught about it, we were told that going to the Pure Land is the perfect training ground to perfect the Bodhisattva practice. And then you can go elsewhere and be practicing the Bodhisattva practice, be a Buddha, and help sentient beings. So you don't stay there necessarily doing nothing. So, like, maybe I wouldn't say go there forever. Like, the purpose would be go there to practice and hear from the Buddha.
Yeah. So sometimes, yeah, something will be beyond our human thinking, right? So that's simple things. When we were little, we would not imagine that we could fly. Now we could fly with airplane, right? And we could not imagine that someone may get out of the earth. Yes, they could fly out there to the moon. Probably later on somewhere else, not a planet. With that kind of tools, right? We can do. So depend upon our views, our faith, and our practice. Because now we still alive, we still have this physical body, whichever thing we think, whether good or bad, we still here. Right. But after we're done with this physical body, one instant about how to make fly there. Let's go beyond the physical world, transcend the physical world. Now they can control, right? They control what they call the roller, right? In Mars, right? Roller, right?
Yeah. I think
Rover?
it's
Yeah.
dead now though, didn't it?
They're still there.
There's
right?
It's still there,
There's
but,
like 4 or 5 of them. I think
Mhm.
at least one of them is still going.
okay, I thought,
But
I
They're still
thought,
there.
yeah, that maybe the first one finally bit the
yes,
dust.
I think some of the older ones are gone, but I think 1 or 2 of the newer ones are still going.
Yeah, with the right equipment,
Yeah.
right? With the instrument, we can go there. It's 100,000 miles away, a million miles away, right?
A
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
50
Oh,
miles.
okay.
Really?
So, Nathan, you make those couple of vows. We have 48 vows of Amitabha Buddha. Which one you could remember, Nathan?
Well, I was going to share. I think Ben had a concern about
I can give
um,
you the co-host.
suffering, right, Ben?
Yeah, go
About
ahead. Go ahead.
old age,
Yeah, you can.
sickness, and death.
You can share now. You know how to share?
Oh, um, yeah. Well, it's. I mean, I sent the 48 vows, but the one that I wanted to share with Ben, if I could find it, is there's one of the vows, but if I remember correctly, and I have to find it in the list of 48, but I think one of them is that beings born in the Pure Land can remember their previous lives. So a being that's born in the Pure Land has context for what they're doing because they remember all the previous lives where they've had to experience the suffering of sickness, old age, and death. So it's not like this, you know, you're just poof there and you don't remember how you got there. You have context that you're there. In my mind, you have context that you're there for practice and to overcome, to practice the bodhisattva path for the sake of all sentient beings in the presence of a Buddha who's teaching you directly. Since we were unable to be there when Shakyamuni Buddha was teaching.
Mhm. It's like we use cell phone now. That's why now you use internet now, right? Whether you're in St. Louis, in Vietnam, or wherever, with the right tools, you can communicate. Hopefully, in our lifetime, they will sit down with the right tool. With the right tools, you can communicate with them over there, and step by step. Probably not our lifetime, but in our lifetime, right? We can see humans spread out to different planets with the right tools, with
I
the right
mean, it's
equipment.
not, there are other beings here.
Mhm.
It's the fifth vow.
Yeah. Yeah. So he make that 48 vows. You know that, right, Sam? 48 vows of Amitabha Buddha.
I don't know all the
You know
Amitabha
about that?
vows. I've
48.
heard
You
of
can
them.
type in.
Yeah, I know the 10 vows of the universal worthy.
That's different.
Bodhisattva,
That's
yeah.
different. Yeah.
And of course,
Okay.
the great vow, earth treasury bodhisattva.
Yeah. All Buddhas made their vows in the past. Second Buddha, he made the vows to born in this land, samsara, on the earth to rescue, to teach people here. But Amitabha Buddha made the vow to raise that pure land. Like the billionaires raise part this land for people to visit and play there. Yeah. Anyway, so that's one of the Buddhist teaching, one of the Mahayana set, what do you call Pure Land tradition. So again, this is suitable for everyone's for other people, but may not be for other. Right? So if you go to most Vietnamese or Chinese Buddhist center for the other people, most of them they focus here. The focus is purely in tradition because they want to be the one over there. That's why most of the time when we do the funeral service, remember, right? Here we decide that Amitabha Sutra and Amitabha names that pray hopefully the disease would go there, but not easy. So Nathan, you know why it's not easy to go there if they're not. So there are three components, three essential components or requirements for someone to practice this Pure Land tradition. You remember that? You know that, Ethan? Nathan?
The three components?
Three essential components or requirements.
I can't say I do.
Listen, you don't know him. All right.
I don't remember. There's so many
Yeah,
different lists.
three main components or requirement. The first one is absolute faith. No doubt at all about this Buddha. Made a vow to be born over there and decide his name. That's the three most important components or requirements for someone to be born over there. No doubt at all. Otherwise, if we still have doubt, even Zen master, they decide Buddha name, like my grandmaster, but he should use that type of Buddha name recitation as to calm his mind, to concentrate his mind. So he made a vow to be born over there. That's so he's still here, in according to the Pure Land tradition. That is unshakable belief. The second one is made the vows to be born over there. Let's say if you have a car, right? But you don't want to go to New York, you will not go there. You just use the car around here. If you made the vows, you made the destination that, oh, I want to go to New York, I want to try New York, or I want to try to LA and so forth, you will go. That's what they call the vows. And if you just believe in the Buddha, if you make a vow but you don't do anything, you still here. In the practice, they recite that Buddhist name. That's why at beginning I asked you, whether you recognize this type of energy, the past energy, the holy energy from Buddha and Bodhisattva when we recite their name, when we recite the mantra. I recite the mantra every day, every morning, after meditation. It's not easy because sometimes it's go beyond, things go beyond our human thinking, our human understanding. We need to have the kind of power, the pure energy from Buddha and Bodhisattva to lead us into the proper direction. Right. So you feel that, Nathan, you recite Buddha name, Amitabha Buddha name every day? How often? Is it 1 hour, 2 hour, or what?
It depends on the day, how much time I have.
In average?
Hmm?
In the average?
Gosh, I couldn't even tell you the average. Some days it's just like a couple times in the morning. Some days it's like 30 minutes or, it all depends.
So go back to my question, my first question. Is this similar to Christian religion? They have the strong faith in Jesus, right? Is that different?
Depends on the type of Christianity. I can go down.
In general,
There's,
not a typical one.
And the Protestants, like, they have what they call the justification by faith, where they believe that it's like the faith in Jesus that takes them to heaven more than their actions. But some of the other ones, like Catholics and Orthodox, think that it's like a mix of both the faith and the actions.
Yeah. Anyway, so again, how about you, Ben? What do you think, Ben? Can you hear Ben?
This is the Baptists, I think all you have to do is is it Baptists? All you have to do is like take them into your heart, literally.
A lot of different Protestants. I feel like 75%
Yeah, but it
Protestants.
doesn't really matter what you do as long as
Yeah.
that final moment.
So how about you, Rukaya? If you have a chance, you think that you can decide that Buddha name so that they can go there and eventually
For
become.
sure. Yeah, I think I have multiple opportunities too.
Okay, good. Great. Let's go back to our reading then. So Ben, can you hear me, Ben?
I think that
My phone is acting crazy. Yeah, you guys go ahead. I'm gonna listen.
Okay.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Okay.
I read recently that in the future, Australia will make a pure land on Earth in a future age.
Not really a pure land.
Kalpa.
Not really the
No.
pure land. No. I will send you the sutra. The sutra talk about Maitreya Bodhisattva. I sent to the to Sita heaven. That's one. Another sutra is relate to how he can come down here and teach, can say million, even trillion people, to attend nirvana or art. Nathan, you heard about that type of sutra? The sutra that relates to Maitreya Bodhisattva, who will ascend to Sita heaven, and who will come down from there. Have you heard about that type of sutra?
I know the like that's the idea that Maitreya will come. Yes, I'm not sure which sutra says that, but
now,
right now,
he's in Sita heaven now. The inner one, not outer one. You know about this?
Yeah, some,
In Theravada tradition, they recognize too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, certainly in my Theravada studies, we don't discuss that.
Okay.
We discuss more practical applications of rooting and
Yeah.
becoming disenchanted.
Usually, when we have the New Year Eve and the Lunar New Year celebration, we decide that I don't know whether
Put
you
my
can
tray
make
out,
I'm gonna
yeah.
try the short one. Yeah. And Nathan, you come on time. Next Saturday we will have the Mid Autumn Festival for the children. We have the
Yes.
you know about that, right? You know about
Yes.
that? Oh, okay, good. All right. All right, let's move on then. All right, so let's see here. Okay, let's see. Nathan, have you read yet?
No.
All right, go ahead, please. Yeah, you read. I think yeah, we stop from here.
Just half a sentence. Yeah.
Late Hodo Buddhist, and you can continue. Buddhist
Okay.
tradition. Yeah.
Traditions which stress one's own efforts. Although the strategies differ, the goal is the same, transcending egotistical self-regard. Central to Buddhist devotion is the idea of accumulating merit by cultivating proper mental states and performing good deeds, such as those exemplified in the rites associated with the, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, upaths,
Uposatha.
Hmm?
Uposatha day.
uposatha
Mhm.
days, the 8 precept days, right?
Yeah.
Even Buddhist traditions that regard the departed Buddha as unable either to receive offerings or intervene in his followers' lives cultivate a sense of obligation and gratitude for what the Buddha did for them in the past. By reflecting on the Buddha's virtuous deeds, the devotee's mind is directed towards a proper sense of dependence upon the one who, through countless lifetimes of self-sacrifice, perfected himself and made it possible for others to follow in his footsteps along the middle path.
Okay. Can you summarize that, please?
I'm saying that both all types of Buddhists do what seems like similar. They may have different details, but similar high-level practices to show gratitude for what the Buddha has done and do devotional acts.
Okay. So here again, you know the difference between self power and other power. What's different then? Go ahead, Nathan.
Self-power is practices that rely on my ability to do them. So, like traditionally, Chan would be like a self-power school where you're doing the meditation yourself and you have to rely on yourself to make progress. Other power is reliance on the vows of, like, for example, the vows of Amitabha. So if I have faith that Amitabha will take me to his pure land when I die, then I'm relying on the other power,
So you
not my power.
refer to go that way, you rely upon the other power of the Buddha instead of having self-confidence about your own self-effort.
I think that there are some Pure Land schools, particularly in Japan, that go very strongly into the other power focus, like Jodo Shinshu. And the video that you showed was kind of like from a modern Taiwanese school that kind of also emphasizes other power. But I think a lot of traditional like thinkers that I've been exposed to, like Taiwanese monastics, kind of have a focus on both, right? Like Master Shengyan would talk about you have like the devotion and faith in Amitabha and the vows to go to the Pure Land, but also in this lifetime you try to practice some self power to concentrate yourself and practice following precepts and some level of meditation, right? So every person might be different. So I think I'm more towards that, where I try to recite the name of the Buddha, but I also try to develop somewhat
Do you
in this life.
have that type of equal footing between self-effort and other power?
Mhm.
You have equal footing, is that right? You have to.
Maybe it's a little bit more other power, but still, I believe that it's best for me to try and practice as much as I can in this lifetime.
How about you, Sam?
Well, in my understanding, I try to not think about having a self. Like my understanding is, it's not really a self or an other. And like in everybody, there's like the Buddha nature, the Tathagata Garpa. And so what I try to do in my practice, especially when I'm chanting like the mantras, like I try to just like imagine like the difference between me and the Buddha and the Bodhisattva like disappearing, and there's like no difference between the self and the other anymore.
Okay, Rukaya, what do you think? If someone offer you go to Disneyland to stay there forever without paying any ticket, they provide you everything. That's what they call order power. The self power, that's when you work by yourself, everything from scratch. So which one do you prefer?
I mean, I would love to be in like a great haven where everything is like offered to me, but I feel like I would get bored after a while. I don't know.
What about Miss Christie? If someone provide you everything, you don't do anything.
Disney.
Disneyland, what do you think? Is that possible? Is that practical?
I'm all for somebody paying for all of my expenses the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I welcome that, but,
It's worthy.
but for me, I don't know if you just, I work for myself, so for me, I feel like I'm very self-cultivated, I probably, and my mind doesn't really work in either this way or that way, because I know from like a Theravada perspective, I am so far off from being realized. But those practices and understanding, bringing that into my life, has made a significant difference in this lifetime for me. So I'm just personally, I'm not one to put a whole lot of faith in something outside of myself. That doesn't mean I'm not open to it, willing to receive it, contemplate it or whatever, but I'm not really hard fixed on one path or the other, but I'm a lot more self-motivated.
Well, like it's like hard to wrap your mind around some of these concepts as a human because we're so limited. But like one of the Diamond Sutra parts I always think about is like when the Buddha tells Subhuti, he's like, Bodhisattva should think like this. Think like you want every single living being to be liberated from suffering, but you also have to think that even when all the living beings are liberated from suffering, in actuality, not a single living being has been liberated because there is no I who liberates or another who was liberated. Because if you think that, you're still clinging to the idea of a self and an other. I don't know. It's like it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around, but that's what I always think about. I'm like, so on the one hand, I want to liberate all beings. That's part A, But part B is I have to understand there's not a separation, and it's like,
Mhm.
Well, that's the whole trick, I think, in Buddhism.
Yeah.
Trick's the word, but is balancing the ideas of this ultimate reality.
yeah,
And process it through something or meat brain computer that only really understands duality.
yeah,
I mean, like, we can contemplate and sort of understand non-duality, but that's for us to really understand non-duality, we still have to think of it in terms of duality.
yeah, I feel like it's like the moment that my brain understands it, I'm thinking about it too much and I stop understanding it. So it's like
So,
I have to not think to get it.
There's some sort of mental balance in there, and then also a sort of surrendering to the fact that, well, I'm probably not informed or cultivated enough to really.
mhm.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's where whenever I talk about faith as a Buddhist, like my idea of faith as a Buddhist is like, I know that my brain is not, I'm not there, so I have to just like have faith that, the Buddhas, they can understand what I can't understand yet.
Again, yeah, definitely. When we live here in the world of duality, right, we still discriminate good, bad, right? Like, dislike, and so forth. Our minds still spin around.
It's hard for
Until-
us to understand that.
Because our minds will still spin back and forth within dislike, good and bad, and so forth. So what our mind has not been still yet. Until our mind still, we can go beyond duality. Otherwise, we still in that cycle. Not easy to recognize us.
Yeah,
So that's why the Buddha provide, or Buddhism provide all kind of tools, all kind of paths for us to practice, whether meditation by ourselves, in tradition, whether through devotion to Amitabha Buddha, or the compassionate Bodhisattva, or recite Buddha names, or recite the mantra. It's all kind of practices that we can follow. Whichever thing is suitable for our needs, we can go. But the points I want to mention is this. So remember the three main components of the pure practitioner are the strong faith, the indestructible faith, the vows, and the practice. If they don't practice, if they have only vows and they believe, they go nowhere. That's why even within, that even they rely upon the Buddha vows power, they still need to put their own effort to recite Buddha names, to focus their mind on the Pure Land, to focus their mind on Amitabha Buddha. Otherwise, they would not go nowhere. Here, imagine that you teach a student around here, right? And somehow they get stuck with computer games on laptop, iPad, and so forth. And you say, "Hey, go with me to get some ice cream." They may not pay attention about that. They just like to play games until they say, "Oh, I remember. Yeah, ice cream is so delicious." So that's why they can go with us. Otherwise, they still play around the games here. We are like that type of children here. If we still play, we still attached to things around here. There's no way for us. Even the Buddha appear in front of us. We're not sorry. I can wait for you, but not now. Right? So Nathan, let's say right now, if Amitabha Buddha appear in front of you and say, "Hey, let go of everything, go with me," would you go?
Appeared in front of me right now.
Would you go right now? Let go of everything and go with him.
How do I know it's him?
I mean, that of course, it's just say if it happened, are you ready?
If it was him, actually, not a demon tricking me.
No one trick you. No. So would you go? Would you let go of everything and go?
I guess so, yeah. I guess it's my time.
That's the point, what you call unshakable faith, right? If you see the Buddha and he say, "Oh, hey, let go of everything, follow me," you will go now. you can go with him. If you
I
still
guess.
have doubt, there's no way for you to go there, especially at on the verge of death, right? There's a lot of things happening. It's so painful when our body, right, when the four elements disintegrate. This is so painful, physically, mentally, and spiritually. If we don't have the kind of unshakable faith to Amitabha Buddha and Bodhisattva, those type of things will affect our thinking easily. Like let's say if we hungry now, while we sit here, if we're so hungry, how could we focus on our discussion? There's no way.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's not easy. Or if we're sick, right? If we have headache, if we have stomach or whichever, most of the time our mind pay attention to those kind of sickness, those kind of pain. We would not think much about whoever in front of us because we have to deal with that kind of physical, mental pain and suffering. Then only when we really focus on, when we decide Buddha name continuously, when we still strong and healthy, at the time that we sick, at the time that we go, I mean that pass away, we still have that kind of habitual pattern to recite Buddha names.
Yeah,
And go with
it is
them.
definite, I can see definitely how you have to habitually do that, so it's default in those really highly stressed out states with fear, that's, you can't do that without practicing a lot.
Yeah, that's why I used to ask people if they follow the pure tradition, have they ever seen themselves recite the Buddha name when they still in the dreams?
Well, I told you that one time we were here about when I was on the medicine after my surgery and I thought I saw like a scary thing in my room. And I chanted for the Earth Store Bodhisattva. And
The third rate?
yeah.
Oh, so you were Buddhist before then? You were Buddhist last lifetime then?
Oh, yeah. Well, this was just a couple months ago that this
really?
dream happened. Yeah.
Okay.
He was high.
Yeah, that's when I was on the pain medicines and yeah, I saw it looked like a 10-foot tall person.
Oh, you told me, okay. So
Yeah, and I was scared, so I did this. I was chanting for the Earth Store Bodhisattva and imagined him.
So Nathan, in your dream, you still recite Buddha names?
I think it happened one time.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good sign. That's good sign that you could have that kind of strong faith, because in the dream, there's no way for you to think. That's you work with your consciousness. You work with your habitual pattern, mentally, and spiritually, and that's your real one. When we're done with this body, right? That's what to pick up for the next life. Kaya, you understand, right? That's why it's so critical. Whichever thing we deal with during our daily life, most of the time we appear in our dreams, especially with a strong desire, as a strong wishes or whichever. It's so strong, whether it's good or bad.
That's why the Tibetans do the dream yoga.
Yeah, we call dream battle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you can,
Yeah.
you be
All
more
right.
efficient when you're
Mhm.
dead.
Okay, so let's just end today then. Okay, so next week we can talk more about that. You like it, Guru Kaya?